Welcome, soul family. Welcome to this reading. This is timeless, timeless. It is meant for you when you have been brought to this video. These are messages for your highest purpose. Take what resonates and leave the rest. We're going to be looking into the archetype. So the current form, the current energy. What are the general messages for the collective? Beautiful soul family. What's going on? We have the tear. Or is there something you're releasing? Emotions. I was seeing the vision in the desert. All right. Isn't that so opposite? We have the tear. So what you bring to the world, you nourish. You bring something beyond what you really realize. Every tear, every drop, every emotion, it actually creates a ripple. And especially right now, we do have big energy with February 17th, that solar eclipse in Aquarius. So I feel like it's been a drought. There's been something missing within the collective. There's been so much energy, so much chaos, so much, I want to say corruption, but what I was really thinking of is the positive points of this. We really get to see what, as individuals, how important it is that your energy, your potent energy is. The emotions actually create these ripples and tides. And I feel like this is something of a release, letting things flow, whatever was needing to close out, put closure to. I'm feeling that last tear, that last drop. And it almost like there's a drought. There's no more emotions to put into whatever the collective was going through on personal level and also in the bigger picture. There was definitely a lot of chaos, a lot of stir up. So now is the time to really release that, cleanse it, and let it be. Let things flow, let things go, and let's live to the highest potential that we can. Not holding anything back, not letting anything not exist, letting things have a place where they are meant to bloom, a place where you're meant to bloom, getting back to this place of love, calm, and harmony. There is strength in filling your own cup, having everything that you need right there in front of you, understanding a deeper connection to yourself. And I really feel like this is like a life cycle of coming right back to who you are with a deeper connection, deeper understanding, nourishing that growth. No tear goes unseen. And I really feel like there is some kind of vision to put forward. There was, it could have been like a pool of stagnation in the collective, holding on to things we didn't want to. And I feel like this tear is a reminder that everything is of importance. Everything is flowing, and there is no holding on to. There is no need to hold on to things. The universe, it's nourishing, and it is taking each teardrop as a treasure. There is a memory that gets stored away with each emotion. It can either be released or can be stored. And I feel like this allows you to discover the treasure beyond the pain, the ache, and the loss. There's a key to the treasure, that life is of abundance, and it's what you make of it. So this could be a tear of loss and of grief or of a storm that you may have to battle through. But there is a treasure with each emotional cycle to let go of the pain and gain the wisdom. Look at that. The Pen of Pentacles, that's exactly abundance. An abundance of life, abundance of what you need, understanding that there's always an opportunity to grow, whether it's a lesson learned and it was a challenge that you needed to outgrow. There's something to take from that, letting go of what you can't control and holding tight onto the memories, the wisdom, information. So I feel like this Ace of Cups is a connection to yourself. It all comes back around. Those tears that you shed are stored away for a day where could be drought, where there's less emotion, where there needs to be some kind of purification charge. Even though the world feels like a desert, it feels like there is a lack of emotion. You have all what you need. Don't allow it to be bottled up where it explodes, but let it be known not to look outside of yourself. So there's been something that you've had to go through with the tear, that teardrop, that emotion, the flow, the connection, what connects all. We all have emotions. We all have gone through a bit of a cycle of turbulence. And it's to bring out your strength. It's bring out your courage. It's to allow loss to bring out something about yourself that you may not have seen. You are, I feel like it brings, when you release something, you also come back to your youthful side because you're letting go. You're not as drained and you don't need to stand in a form of strength, but life hasn't aged you, but I feel like it's almost purified you of what you didn't need. It wasn't a waste. Those tears are not waste. They're not wasted. They're actually used as nourishment, almost like a compost. It nourishes your new cycles in those uncomfortable places. Pisces energy. We have Leo and Pisces. These are both extremely potent energies because they are main events in the tarot. They are major arcanas. So you found strength in places that you may not have found a space to ground yourself. Where the walls have exposed, there is no walls, there's no ground, and there is no ceiling. I feel like you have been in a place of unlimited creativity. Your intuition has been heightened because you've been in a dark place where you could not see, and it was forced upon you to see something beyond your eyes. And it has grown, it's almost like you've grown on the inside, not just on the outside. Learn to express yourself in a place of uncomfortable. It's almost like there's been this uncomfortable pause where you've had to get to know yourself, rewire how you express yourself, and almost getting to know parts about yourself that are very vulnerable. And you've realized a lot. You've realized a lot about others, but also about yourself. There's been a big clarity. There's been a lot of clarity, a lot of truth, and a lot of growth. And it has brought out strengths. So there's been a positive. And you've seen a lot of almost like you've been misplaced, felt misplaced, and misunderstood. And it's actually made you contort yourself in ways you did not know you could. So you've aligned just in time, and it was a rebalancing, an equal give and take. You could have been giving too much of yourself and giving too much of yourself away, where you've lost parts of your being misunderstood. I feel like became normalized. So this is kind of this pause, and really ask yourself, are you comfortable with who you are? Or are you misplaced or misunderstood? Maybe even mistaken other people's mistaken the good for the bad. Finding pleasure in giving to others, but I feel like that may have been something that you just maybe even told yourself. And it was leaving you feeling like you were a desert. There's no more to give. You give it all away. You've given your last tear. So I feel like you're kind of taking back who you are, taking back your place in the world, your strength and courage. You're shining beyond. Shining beyond. I feel like where you felt like you couldn't grow anymore. You thought that was all life was meant to give, that was the misunderstanding. And the Hierophant comes in to change that perspective. Really brings you back to your higher purpose. There was a higher place, and you'll feel that when you align with the right people that give you this equal give and take. They don't just take your tears. They're there for the good times and not the bads. So I feel like when you're in a place where it felt dark and felt misunderstood, it was to show you something about an opportunity, something that was unbalanced. You're missing something. And I feel like it wasn't something you could see with your eyes because you could convince yourself elsewise. But this is the higher picture. The Hierophant comes in when you're maybe misguided. And it's a realization of your higher purpose isn't just to make others happy or to be there for others, but you have to be in a space of love and acceptance before you can be there for others. You can't give away too much of yourself, and then there's no more left. So this is for your highest good. This was a higher teaching, something that wanting to change what you were seeing, and you had to go into the dark place, the uncomfortable, where the universe put in place so you had no choice to see it. And I feel like this was necessary for your growth, that you are your own best fortune. You're your own first love. And to understand the outer world, you must go into the inner world, in those places where things we don't want to see, the uncomfortable truths. And it awakens parts that are for your best good. And it could cause a little bit of ripples in your belief system, in connections, in things that you thought were solid, because it's all about change and changing an intimate part about yourself that you have not to expect from others what you give, because you'll always feel like the desert. But when working on yourself and your own journey, you strengthen parts about yourself that you didn't realize need to be strengthened. And you also feel like losses are the connection to outer worlds, to other worlds, connection to, in those tough times, those challenging times where it's not equal, it's not balanced, and you're left hanging on a limb. That's where the transformation starts. And you see something beyond. And you realize you've been accepting less. Five Pentacles. The only one that can save you is yourself, though. You save everybody else, but sometimes saving yourself can be the hardest part. And we have the King of Wands. Don't let go of that torch. Don't stand down, and don't pass the torch to somebody else, expecting them to do the same. Have the same leadership goals. They could just go and burn down the whole village. But with you, I feel like you have that perseverance, you have the leadership, and the goal isn't to leave anybody behind. But there is this lead of knowing oneself and when the battle is on the inside or is on the battle on the outside. So feeling losses from others who have let you down, there's a key. There is something that you earn, that you gain from those challenging times, is that you connect past just a belief system, past expectations, and it opens up these challenges, these lessons, and this things that you didn't see before, the challenges. So walking away and putting your print not just giving up, but in the face of challenges, in the face of hardships, there's a huge opportunity. And the price you pay is learn the lesson and reap the rewards, gain the rewards, or back down and you have to go down a couple of steps, learn the lessons again. So these are all about taking the challenges, the lessons, and putting a new spin on it, walking towards life as not always sure or necessarily wanting to, but accepting the challenge, acknowledging there needs to be passion, and you are standing strong, knowing who you are, taking chances. And I feel like that is the Ten of Pentacles. Taking the desert and turning teardrops, filling it with love, taking something that was dry and filling it with nurturing kindness. When there's desert, there's always room to grow, to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. You can give them all the love, all the nurturing. But when it's your own path, I feel like you've lost your shoes, you kicked them off, here you are barefoot, connected to the earth, connected to this bigger space, and you may be feeling closed off from the people that you love, but you haven't been left behind. You've just been put in a place to grow, a place where you have opportunity to grow. There's nowhere else to go but up. Take that torch and lead the way, because you are sailing a ship, not from today, not yesterday, but ongoing to the future and beyond. All right, till next time, beautiful soul family. Bye.